has driven many people to poverty, especially the farmers from this sugar growing region, Madam Speaker. The factories in this region, Madam Speaker, went into importing sugar, and this was facilitated by the defunct Kenya Sugar Board when they licensed factories to import sugar purportedly to top up on the shortage that was in the country. Madam Speaker, that was the first mistake, because factories stopped paying farmers. They found an easy way to bring sugar in the country, and that sugar, and they come and repackage it as if it is coming from these factories, Madam Speaker. And it went on and on like that. And you see some of the CEOs of these factories, when they left the factories, they collapsed. So you wonder what miracle were they performing when they were there, because they were covering up things. So it is important to regulate the importation of sugar so that we can only bring in sugar that is, Madam Speaker, that is only for the shortfall that the country is not meeting. And this normally was just only the industrial sugar. But nowadays we are importing sugar for everything. And this is the reason why the government must strongly put in place the regulations to make sure that sugar that is brought in the country from the commercial region, it is only to cover the shortfall that we are having. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, we need now to make sure that the factories, as the government is moving to bring in people to lease the factories to investors, so that these people now, their first thing they must do is, Madam Speaker, is to pay farmers and revive these factories to go back to grinding sugar, so that the people who are in this region are not going to be subject to poverty and have make losses. Some of the regions, that factories like Mumias, Nzoia, and others, Madam Speaker, where they are situated, even the communities within that region, Madam Speaker, have completely been rendered in poverty. They are wallowing in poverty because of lack of payment. Sugar was on their farms and all that, Madam Speaker. So we want to support this motion, Madam Speaker, as we move into the new direction that the regulations are going to be put in place so that importation of sugar from the commercial region or from other region is properly managed. Madam Speaker, we also must always be live to the situation that the middlemen, the so-called cartels, they are the ones who have made our sugar very, very expensive. You find the countries like Sudan, Madam Speaker, they don't have middlemen in the sugar industry. And we find the sugar from Sudan, when it comes to Kenya, is cheaper than our sugar because of the cost of production, and also these middlemen who come in and as scrupulous businessmen, Madam Speaker, and exaggerate the price of the sugar so that our sugar becomes more unattractive than the sugar coming from out. So we must also just make sure that we deal with these issues from the onset, so that we regulate the sugar industry, and that the country can now benefit from this new legislation, Madam Speaker. I want to support this motion and also thank my brother, Honorable Salasya. Madam Speaker, the other day, even when we were having the CBA meeting in Ghana, we met Honorable Salasya's lookalike in that country, and every member of parliament from Kenya was saying there is a Salasya here. But when we get to the person, we found that it was not Honorable Salasya. Honorable Salasya, you have your lookalike somewhere in this world. Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's on a light note.
Thank you very much, Member for Westlands. The Honorable Mary Emase, Member for Teso County.